So my team and I have been working on this thing for 5 years.
Yeah, you know, I could explain to you all what it is, but I think the best way for you to understand is if you just try it yourself.
So we're here with Greg Jardin, the director of It's What's Inside. How you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I gotta say, It's What's Inside, such a fun movie, such a wild movie, a lot of crazy stuff happening in it. Really love it. For people who haven't heard about it yet, what is the movie all about?
It's about 8 friends who get together for a party. One of their estranged friends who no one thinks is going to show up shows up with a suitcase. In the suitcase, this guy has a body swap machine that allows them to do like a group body swap. He suggests they use it to play a game, and then basically the night spirals into an existential nightmare.
Yeah, it's an existential. I wouldn't want to be it, but love watching it, definitely.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, gotta say, the story's so compelling and it's really interesting, but it lives and dies so much on the performances in this film. And your cast delivers. You know, they're all making really big choices in this. Were you encouraging them to go farther with each take or try different takes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tried to give them as much agency over their base characters as possible. Like, my philosophy is like once we started rehearsing, I wanted them to sort of take the reins of their characters over me. So at a certain point, it's like you are the authority on this character. It's almost like I'm asking you, but that sort of gave them the freedom to kind of experiment with things, and then also work with their castmates to like learn from their castmates about the other characters they were going to play, and then conversely teach their castmates all these isms.
Damn, bro.
I mean, I wanted to come prepared as Dennis as much as I could. You know, I wanted to know who he was, where he had been, who each person was in relation to him. And we were lucky enough to get a 1-week rehearsal before we dove into filming. And without that, I feel like I would not have had the adequate time or prep going into it. But Greg made sure that time was allotted for all of us so that we could kind of get to know each other, and so that we knew how each person was portraying their character.
You're acting like a different person.
Oh, look at me. I am a different person. I think when we all read the script, we were very confused. And I'm being so real about it. We were confused. And then we all had meetings with Greg, our creator, director, writer, editor. And he was so clear about his vision. And we all knew that this was going to be a collaborative process. And going into the film, we had a week of really intense, fun rehearsals. So that really helped us know the emotional stakes throughout the film. Know that we all basically were creating these characters together and watching them come to life. And so it was a very collaborative experience. So it wasn't just like, I think we started to give birth or know who our characters were when we all met one another and were on the set. We rehearsed on the set.
I gave birth on the set.
Yeah, it's
alarming.
Really messy. I gave epidural, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Trippy.
We had to have so much trust in one another because we were, starting out as our baseline character and then giving it over to someone else. And so, there would be moments where we'd like pull someone aside and be like, okay, so like, how would you say this? And like, what would you be doing in this scene? And usually that might be like stepping out of bounds or like crossing a boundary. But on this set, everyone was just so collaborative and knew that it had to be a collaborative film, and that we wanted to come together to make it then the best version that it could be. So I think we were really lucky that everyone respected each other's crafts enough to then have that trust.
It's trippy, huh?
Like, I feel like with the writing and the shooting and the editing of this, to keep track, I feel like you had like a big whiteboard with all the names and strings going back and forth.
Basically, yeah.
Like, did you have a body swap timeline?
I had diagrams on my wall next to my computer where I was writing, which was essentially like, this is the 8 people just baseline. Now this is the 8 people in round 1, so I could just visually see like, yeah, I'm looking over here like it's over here, but like, like this person is in this person's body in round 1, and I can kind of see it visually, and then so I would refer to these diagrams throughout the writing to just help me keep everything straight.
Were there any points before a scene that you had to like remind yourself, okay, who am I? What am I doing?
Yeah, I think as an actor you try to prepare as much as you can, but then you try to also go, how far do I need to push it as an actor, or how much do I have to rely on the circumstance in terms of where we are in the story, that Greg's just like, no, you can pull back your performance because the place you're in right now has mirrors everywhere, so just pull back. So let the camera do the work. So I think I always knew where the character was, but that was the challenge, is emotionally, where are you in every moment? And also just trusting that the story is so wild, you don't have to push as hard as an actor. You can let the story come to you.
It was like the acting Olympics. You know, we all got to really dive in fully into each of these characters and had one another's support in doing so. And it's really just an environment where there really was no, like, we could try and take crazy swings and we'd all just kind of encourage one another forward.
What? You guys, of course, doing night shoots. You're coming off, you know, at times when people are getting up for breakfast and you guys are down in the lobby just having your dinners, just unwinding, having some crazy times. Alycia, what was it like during, you know, the off time of this film with you guys?
I mean, the off time was really fun. I think because we were all on such a crazy schedule, we were filming for 18 days night shoots, that it meant we really only had each other when we had our off time. We were all staying in the same hotel, and so we'd finish our days and we'd had this little ritual of being around the fireplace in the lobby, and we'd probably, like, you know, suddenly like debrief or like have a glass of wine, even though it's like the morning. But it was sort of like our own schedule. But it was really lovely. It made it all feel really like camp, honestly. I think because we all bonded then over just being on that same crazy schedule. So yeah, it was really fun. The other thing that I really comes to mind is like you and I going on like bizarre timed shopping trips. We were like getting out into the world, trying to be like sane and like in Portland, like, okay, let's go do something.
True, yeah. Don't recommend shopping with not a lot of sleep.
No, we like went
buy a lot.
crazy.
Yeah.
Delirious, like without spending.
A bunch of us got into sensory deprivation tanks when we were there, so we'd go there and like just lay in this kind of salinic solution and just like let our minds drift at the end of it.
And there was a coffee shop that we all went to, and it felt like a sitcom set where like I'd walk in and I would see you guys there, and you know, and there's a laugh track, you know.
I loved waking up and it being like 2 o'clock or like 5 o'clock p.m. and I'm like, I'm gonna get sushi. Like I woke up for breakfast. I'm going sushi for breakfast. It was great.
No phones out or anything, okay?
Bro, that's like telling Nikki not to breathe and shit.
I just gotta say, it was such a fun movie to watch, but is your whole goal to make people be afraid of college reunions?
Maybe it was. I haven't gone to any myself, and now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh man, are we in therapy right now? This is amazing. I think you just uncovered something.
Hey man! Come here!
After shooting this film, Nina, do you feel like you might swear off doing any college or high school reunions?
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe not college. I went to a drama school with there was 22 of us in my year, so it does feel like a family unit that I definitely want to be with them again. I don't know about high school. High school, we'll see. That might be a little spooky, but with college, I'll see them again.
I love reuniting with people.
Okay.
We are so lucky to I don't know. I totally understand how they can be really stressful and scary, but I also think it's so wonderful to exist and to see how people have grown and to I had a fairly good high school experience, and I'm still close with a lot of people I grew up with, and I didn't always have a great experience in different chapters of school, but I love people, and that's why I wanted to do this film, because I love being able to collaborate and connect with one another, and so I think reunions are very fun.
As long as there's not a body swapping machine, I think it's a good time.